Okay, I'd like to return to the original data again. And now what we're going to do is try something a little different. So what we're going to do is increase advertising. So that, we have this concern about uh, the commissions on a per unit basis. We're actually cutting into this. We're effectively changing our contribution margin ratio. So our contribution margin ratio instead of being 28%. I'm sorry, we would we would need to take each of these by the dollar amount there. And so now instead of being 28%, we end up with this being closer to 26%. And the reason that we'd seen that was that we've increased our variable costs slightly, but nevertheless increased. So what if we increase the advertising instead? So say that we will spend $10,000 more in advertising, and we believe that this will lead to an increase in sales of $40,000. So that sounds pretty good here. So if we break this up into so basically we're going to work smart, not hard here. So then I'm just using this for our just for our labels here. So we're expecting an increase in sales of $40,000, and advertising is a fixed cost. So if we increase that by 10,000, so then we know that now the contribution margin is going to be the difference between sales and variable costs, and operating income is the difference between contribution margin and fixed costs. Well, now the variable costs are going to be increasing, and so now since we're going back to the original data, we can go back to this 72% of the sales number. And so what we see is an increase in operating income of $1,200 versus what we had before. But as you would well note, this change from before is going to indicate that we have actually still an operating loss of 5,800. And just checking our contribution margin, make sure that we have everything looking correct here. So our contribution margin hasn't changed in terms of percentage. It's this addition to advertising that is now inducing a greater loss. Because again, if we had increased the 40,000 units, what we would see then is if we take 40,000 divided by 1250 per unit, that's an additional 3,200. So we'd be 11,200. We'd be again more than well more than what we had in terms of the expected break-even point here of 10,000. But that break-even point is considering that we have no additional variable costs or no additional fixed costs, and what we see here is that to move the needle, to increase the number of units sold, and we're likely to have to incur some additional cost to do so. And so this is obviously the challenge here. So it looks like advertising, while effective, is only slightly effective now. And so that's something where you got to be aware, because there might be somebody who's in the marketing staff who says, no, we really can help you with these sales, and that 10,000 is out there, And now we have to and notice that even selling 3,200 more units isn't going to bring us very much closer to prosperity.